All right, let's begin with the syllabus first, all right? After that, I will solve this issue. All right, so today is avramis reverse strategy, right? So it's an indicator that you can use to, for a quite profitable trade, right? It's created by Mr. Avramis himself, right? So he used this indicator, right, to actually, it's a some sort of an entry, and exit positions, right? It also shows, when it's bullish momentum, when it's bearish momentum, and stuff like that. Okay, so let's move on. So in this section, you will learn avramis river, trend identification, and support and resistance. Right. So how do you use it exactly? How do you use it? How do you find the support and resistance? How do you identify any bullish or bearish trend, any form of reversal, and stuff like that? Wait, So what is avramis river actually? It's a visual identification that can offer more information, right, regarding market sentiment and clarity of price trend. Obviously, I always say use it with your other confluences, right? With other confluences, you can be sure that it actually works. Right, as a trend following device, it can be used to scan through markets to spot trending opportunities or warn of ranging conditions, right? So what does it mean is that when you use avramis river to scan through the market, right? What happens is that you will see, right, certain positions or certain possible entries, that is very, very, valid or very good, right? That actually one look at it and you know that it's going to be a very good entry, right, or a very good exit position, or you can see any form of market sentiment, right? Later I'll show it to you, right? How do you actually look at it? Okay. So the river indicator should be used in combination with other tools, obviously, right? You can never use a single confluences, right, to actually say what is wrong or what is right, right? So what happens is that you need to use probably support and resistance, or maybe other things such as a trend line or a indicator, right? Maybe a stochastics or RSI to use together with this avramis river to actually confirm your positions. Okay. Right, so what does this avramis river design is the three different parameters interpreted as one. So what is the blue river is the anchor of the trend, right? So the blue river is probably something like a support trend line, right? So what happens is that you can see that is as long as price doesn't go below the blue river, it means that it's probably on a bullish momentum, right? As you can see that this is all of these are corrective wave right here, right? So these are the uptrend, right? And probably entry price should be probably around this around this area, right? Let's just say if price is already going up. Right. Anyway, let me check some stuff. Okay, let's just say price is already going up, right? Then what happens is that you can wait for an entry instead of actually going maybe along here, right? Then when it hits your anchor, then you can proceed for buy entry upwards. Okay. So what does the volatility filter means? The volatility filters means that this is probably any form of big movements, right? Any form of big movements, it will go below our this blue river and then probably do a slight reversal. Okay. So the gold river is used as a confirmation regarding a change in trend and will assist us in better understanding the clarity of the trend. So this is the gold river right here, right? So let's just say it goes below, right? It's a lagging indicator. So what happens is if it goes below, then it's a form of a reversal. Okay. So as I already said, as long as you go below the blue and below the gold river, what happens is that there's a form of reversal, right? Sorry, let me erase my drawing. How do you interpret this avramis river? So price action relative to the reverse, right, and the crossover of reverse, right? So what does the crossover means that it's probably, it's a sign of reversal, right? Later I'll explain more. The slope of the reverse is probably how good the price action is on uptrend and the distance between reverse. Okay, all these later I'll explain more, right? How to use it exactly and stuff like that. So uptrend is priced below the blue river, above the blue river, sorry, right? So this means that it's a clear uptrend, right? So as long as you see there's a crossover between these two rivers, right? And then you can see that it went above the blue river, just like the Ichimoku cloud indicator, which I talked about. Later I'll show it to you again, right? And then you can see that there's quite a few similarities with it, right? But this is obviously much clearer because there are two different kinds of, the blue and the gold river, right? So you clearly see, so even if there's, let's just say it's inside here, right? It's also okay, right? It means that, there's still no possible reversal until at least go below it. So for a downtrend, it's priced below the blue river, right? Blue river below the gold river. Okay, so this is a clear downtrend, right? You can see there's a crossover. So probably, at first there's an uptrend, before this, and then, as I said, right, it's like Ichimoku cloud indicator. So when blue over red is a uptrend, when red over blue is a downtrend, right? Something similar to like that. So you can see that there's a clear downtrend, right? So where do you do your sell entry, your buy entry, and your stop loss, right? Stop loss is probably around this area, right? Let's just say if price go, below your gold river, then you can do a stop loss, right? Then after that, let's just say it's a downtrend, right? And this is all the corrective wave, right? So this is the corrective wave. Let's just say, price is already at here, right? What you have to understand is that, price doesn't go down trend like that, right? I always say that price doesn't go like that, right? Instead, it will go, in this zigzag pattern, right? Then eventually go all the way down, right? So what does this mean is that, when go down, right? Then, this is obviously your, for people who are looking for retracement, for scalpers, I will probably do a 30.2% retracement, right? And then you will find that maybe this is your, your take profit level. But obviously, I always say that you should not trade against trend. Let's just say it's already on a downtrend. Then what you should do is to actually look for sell entry, right? Or for a sell entry, right, instead of a buy entry, right? So I always suggest that you always look for the corrective wave, right? Counter trend, right? Then you will look for a sell entry here. As long as it doesn't go beyond this, right, it's fine. So you will play this downtrend move right here. Okay, so this is how you use avramis river, right? So I already said that this is downtrend, uptrend is blue above gold, right? And there's a crossover before you start your clear uptrend. For ranging market, prices crossing above and below the rivers, right? So this is a ranging market. So a ranging market, what happens is that, I would say that, for every other indicator, right, there's really depends on, what kind of indicator you're using. For example, I already told you guys before, for the benefit of those who are new, right, is that if you use stochastics and RSI, what's the difference between stochastics and RSI is that RSI is probably, a trending indicator, whilst, stochastic is probably better for a sideways indicator, for not a trending market, right? So this is how, there's a difference between, each type of indicator. For this, obviously, for avramis himself, right, he created this indicator so you can use it both ways, right? So how do you use it both ways? If you find that, there's multiple crossovers already, right? So it means that, market is actually ranging, right? So it's not trending, it's ranging, right? Trending is uptrend or it's a downtrend, while ranging is probably sideways market, okay? So what happens is that when it's a sideways market, right, then you can see there's multiple crossovers between the river, right? Just like your Ichimoku cloud indicator, the blue and the red will have multiple crossover, right? Later, maybe I will show it to you if I have time, right? So what is this, why? Okay, let's just talk about Ichimoku first. So what is this blue and red, indicator? It's just simply moving averages, okay? Very short moving averages while you're looking at different crossovers, right? So these are just moving averages, right? So the same thing goes for here, right? So what happens is that when there's multiple crossover, it means that, as I said earlier, right, ranging market. So what happens is that you want to look, for a crossover first, right? I already say go below the blue, right? So it means that it's going to go down, right? You can see that there's a pattern here, right? Probably look for a reversal candlestick right here, go for an uptrend, right? Go for a long position right here. So this is how you use your avramis indicator. And you also can tell, right, that the rivers are relatively flat sloping, right? If you see the slide earlier, right, how do you identify uptrend and downtrend is that you can see that, it's a very, very clear, very clear slope right here, right? But you see for this ranging market, right, you can see that it's just, it's just a very flat slope, right? There's practically no slope right here, okay? Okay, so for now, do you guys have any questions about, how to identify uptrend, how to identify downtrend, how to identify ranging markets? If you guys have no questions, just type no, right? So I'll just go on. Can I have some reply so that I know that, it's okay for me to move on? Okay, no questions so far. All right, that's great, that's great. So this is what we'll do. We'll finish avramis river, then we will take a look at some charts, right? Some technical analysis chart, right? Then after that, we will move on to the meat of the things, right? To find, again, different setups and strategies in the market right now. So what happens in the weak trend, we expect to see the reverse mixing the price and not remaining completely below the blue river. So as you see earlier, right, for a strong trend, right, let me go back to you and show it to you, right, is that there's a clear goal above the blue or blue above the goal, and there's only one crossover, right? But let's just say that it's a weak trend, right? So there's a multiple crossover, but you see that it's still sloping, right? So it's still a weak downtrend, right? So it actually shows, sometimes, market, right, trade not sideways, but trade in a way that, it's going down, but it's going down very, very slowly. Normally what happens is during the Asian market, okay? So for avramis river, right, the bullish reversal, right, price inside the river implies weakness, right? The reason why we always look at the rivers and the Ichimoku cloud indicator is also works the same way. The reason why we always look at our cloud is because let's just say, price is here, right? Then obviously, it's very safe, right? Let's just say price, goes down, right? Obviously, you cannot say there's a reversal pattern already, right? What happens is that price have to go below this golden river to say that there's a reversal pattern, right? So a close below the blue river obviously indicates reversal, right? But sometimes you have to take a look, right? There's a crossover here, right? So it's a bit different, right? So reversal in the price make the signal more reliable, right? So all the corrective waves and all the trending waves, this is where you find your respective entry, your stop loss, and your selling prices. Okay. So next slide. So the appearance of the white river acts as a signal of a strength and confirms the new trend, right? So this is the appearance of the white river you see right here, right? So if you see there's a gap, right, then obviously there's a very strong uptrend right there. Oh, so let me erase. So the prices inside the river implies there's weakness, right? As I said earlier, right? As long as it's inside the river, it means that, let's just say it's a very strong uptrend, obviously it's going to be like that, right? Something like that. Okay, this is the river we are talking about here, right? And let's just say if there's a very weak trend, not weak trend, like there's some weakness in the price, that maybe you reach here, right? The support is not as strong, then it goes down, right? Like this, right? So it implies that the river implies that prices have a bit of weakness, right? A close below the blue river indicates possible reversal, right? So as long as it goes below the Blue River, right? And then a confirmation is obviously, I say, below the Golden River, right? But what happens is that a close below a Blue River, maybe you have to be quite wary about it already. Okay. So obviously for trending markets, what you hope is that you want to be above the Blue River at all times, right? So that's the best case scenario, right? Yesterday, gold, right? I always say take gold as an example because I think it's a good example because it's very volatile at certain time frames, at certain timings, right? So you can see that you probably will be able to see for gold that the price is actually above our Blue River, right? Because it's just one straight candlestick up also anyway. So a close below the Blue River indicates reversal, I already said, right? But just to confirm, right, reversal in price make the signal more reliable, and further confirmation is given after the Blue River crosses below the Golden River. Okay, so as I say that you want to look at any forms of crossover is that one is below the price must be below the river, and then must be a crossover, something like that along that line. So appearance of the white, I already say this acts as a very strong. I'm sorry. The white river acts as a very strong, signal that it confirms a new trend. So let's just say that, I already said that a reversal is for a crossover to happen. Right? Let me use my pen. Right, a reversal is for a crossover to happen, but there's no crossover and there's a very big white gap here, right? So it means that there's probably a very strong downtrend right here, right? Okay, so for extreme conditions, like the White River can be used to warn of the first corrective wave. The first appearance of the White River in a new trend signals an overbought and oversold state. Right, so what you see that there's a first appearance of the White River, right, in a new trend signal, it means that it's overbought or oversold. So this warns of a potential, right, corrective retracement, usually towards the area of the Blue River. Okay. So the upper and lower boundaries of the Blue River outline the area of support and uptrend. As I say, you can practically draw this as a trend line, right? And it's the same thing, right? It's just a very good indicator to use just in case it breaks below the trend line. It's the same thing right there, right? So you can say that the upper and lower boundaries of the Blue River outline the area of support and uptrend. So you can say all these, are very strong support levels, right? So correction from a strong uptrend can often find support inside the Blue River. Okay, let me erase some drawing. So the upper and lower boundaries of the Blue River outline the area of resistance in the downtrend, right? Corrections from a strong uptrend can often find resistance inside the Blue River. So such things as like that, right? You can see that it's a clear touch. Okay. So the conclusion is that what happens is the avramis river is used to help traders better understand the clarity of the trend. Right, rivers can help clearly scan through many instruments. Right, you can clearly see that where's the river, right, where it's touching. Right, so it's a very clear many instruments to see which trend are clearer than others. So it's critical to combine with other angle tools to help traders in execution of trades. So in this section, you will learn clock reading, right? White river signal and alignment signal, right? So what does it mean? And how to exit signal. So the clock reading identifies the slope of the blue river and show us the instrument strength, right? The reading of 2 o'clock or higher signals an uptrend with increasing strength as we reach 3 hours o'clock. So this is how you read your what is it trending, right? Whether it's trending upwards or downwards, right? Reading between 4 o'clock lower signals a downtrend with increasing strength as we reach 6 o'clock. So in general, what happens is that this clock read identify when the trend is strengthening or weakening. So reading of 4 o'clock lower signals a downtrend with increasing strength as we reach 6 o'clock. Okay. So prices movers above the blue river, the brown and gold river separates, creating a gap known as the white river. So the entry is activated above the recent high after corrective waves, right? And then the stop loss can be placed below the gold river. Okay, so this what it means is that, so how do you entry? Where do you find your reflected entry? Well, obviously you entry here because I already say that, as long as the price is in the river, it means that there's some form of weaknesses. So obviously you don't want to play into the weakness. So obviously you want to wait until price go above this river before you actually make an entry signal. Then you go up, right? Then there's a corrective wave. Obviously, then it will touch the river before going up again. So this is how prices normally move anyway, right? So this is how you actually use this indicator to find exit and entry points. So prices move below the blue river. The brown and gold river separates, creating the gap known as the white river. So the entry is activated before the recent low or after a corrective wave, and the stop loss can be placed above the gold river. Okay, so this is where you put your stop loss, right? Obviously, you see there's a crossover, right? So it means that there's a possible downtrend with a white river right here, right? And then it might continue to go down. Okay. So a strong uptrend identified by bullish white river, right? A downward corrective wave with a close inside the blue or brown river. A bullish reversal candle closing above the blue river, and the entry signal is activated, above the recent high of the candle that generated the signal, and stop loss can be placed, below the brown river. So this is how, this is what we do during Ichimoku too. But the thing is that avramis, it's more, the indicator is much clearer, right, for us to see, how price is going. Later I'll show you something with Ichimoku, right? It's somewhere the same way anyway. Okay. So for bearish alignment, the condition one is that there's strong downtrend identified by bearish white candle, right? Then upwards corrective waves with a close inside the blue or brown river. Okay. Then a bearish reversal candle closing below the blue river is another condition, and the entry signal is activated below the recent low of the candle that generated the signal. So stop loss can be placed right below the brown river right here. Right? Sorry, my drawing not so accurate because I'm using a mouse. So how do you exit from a bullish exit, right? So strong uptrend identified by a bullish right river, right? So what happens is that you will clearly see that maybe the slope starts to become not as steep, right? Then clock angle turns from up to neutral, right? So it means that hey, maybe the market is starting to ranging instead of going uptrend, right? Then this is where you can choose to exit from the market. So a strong downtrend identified by a bearish red river, right? The clock angle turns from down to neutral, and the exit activated above the high of the candle that generated the signal. Okay, so now we're going to go through some technical analysis, right? And I'm going to show you different kinds of indicators, right? As I always show you guys. Right, so what happens is that you want to find very good setups here and there, right? To actually, okay, so today maybe I'll show some divergence also, right? To actually show you guys, right? Maybe there's some potential setups in the market, right? If you guys have any requests regarding technical analysis, right, feel free to tell me, and then I will use, you know, my analysis, right, to help you identify them. Okay, so I will give it a while I wait for, you know, any suggestions for any charts. Oil again. And Aussie dollar and Aussie Kiwi. Okay, let's go, guys. Okay, give me a second while I prepare my chart, huh? All right, so let's start with Aussie Kiwi. It's the first one I saw. Right, so I always say that you want to go from top-down analysis, right? So, or goal also, all right, let's do it, guys. Okay, goal, I suspect there will be some form of retracement, right? Probably a 38.2 retracement, right? Now it's going down, let me give it a check. Oh, now it's going up. Wow, all right. So it's going to go uptrend again. Okay, so later maybe we can see whether it's a 30.2 retracement or not also, right? So let's start with Aussie. Okay, so this is what we'll do, right? We'll start with Aussie dollar, right? Because it's the first one. Wait. Oh, sorry, I didn't think. Wait. Let me use a new chart layout. All right. So let's type Aussie dollar. You want to see the. Okay, the thing is that this river indicator need MT5. Do you guys MT5 actually? I'll do a normal analysis on this first, right? To actually show you guys how it works. So I'll show you guys my bias first, right? Then if I have time, what happens is I'll use the MT5 to show you how to use the rivers too. I don't know whether you guys use MT5 actually. So I just see quite a few requests here, right? We'll go down the line, right? First, we'll start with Aussie dollar first. All right, so you can see there's a clear channel right here. Right, what do you expect is that, you know, there's it's touching the support of our channel, right, of a bearish channel, right? So do you expect a bounce up or a breakdown? Okay, this is what you have to think, right? So when you see a channel, what you have to think is that you expect, does it touch the support of a channel? If it touches the support of a channel, what do you expect it to do? Or do you expect it to go up to the resistance of a channel, or do you expect from a further breakdown? Okay, so let's just say it breaks, which I don't think it will, but because I already keep telling you guys that, you know, market works in a very, you know, clear zigzag pattern, right? Instead of a clear downtrend downwards, unless there's a very strong, you know, selling pressure or buying pressure right here. Okay, so clear overlap right here too, right? So this is a very good support overlap. Okay. You can see from here. Right, so this is your resistance. Right. If you guys want to go for buy entry right here, later we will take a look at indicators to actually see, right, if there's any it's actually supporting our buyer. So I'm expecting a bounce to the resistance of our channel. So this is the 30.2% retracement, right? So you expect, this one have already on a downward pressure anyway, so you expect a 38.2 retracement, right, to go up. Yes, I agree there's quite a strong support too. So normally how I used to check on strong support is I probably use a form of retracement and a projection, right, to identify my support levels. Okay, so for here, maybe I use a retracement, right? You can see it's very near our 61.8% retracement. So next slide, you cannot use Fibonacci's to determine your exact things, exact levels, right? You have to check it back with probably going back to. So you can see there's a clear overlap right here. Okay. So this is a very strong support. I agree with you, Richard. Right. So are you looking for a long position or short position? So let's say your stop loss, where do your stop loss should be? Right. Your stop loss should be somewhere that invalidates your idea. Right. So let's just say if you're a swing trader, you probably play on 4-hour chart, right? And then you will find a very good stop loss probably around this area where it invalidates your idea. You can see that's very tight, right? It's about 1-to-5 risk reward ratio. All right, so the next thing, right, you're probably buying indicators, right? I already said maybe you can use Ichimoku cloud, right? Ichimoku cloud shows that the rate is over blue, so it's probably on a downtrend. But as I say, yes, I expect it to be a downtrend because in a bearish channel, right? So if let's just say you don't want to play against the trend, right? You want to be safer, right? Then you can wait for a sell entry at probably this area, look for a short, right? Because you can see that Ichimoku cloud indicator shows a very clear bearish signal, right? So this is another way to play, right? Every trade, right, goes in both ways anyway. So you can see from stochastics, right, it's already very near our support level, right? So you expect a bounce up anyway. All right, so let's go to our. Are you a scalper or are you a swing trader, Richard? A swing, then swing, I think you can play from here. I think it's quite safe, right? You can see your stop loss is very close also, right? Even if you're wrong, yeah, the risk reward is very good. Are you looking for a short or long position? Long, all right. I think it's a very good call actually. Right, for scalpers, what you have to look at is 15-minute chart. And okay, so what's my suggestion for swing traders, right, is a monthly, weekly, daily chart or weekly, daily, 4-hour chart, right? I think it's very accurate. Okay, so you just take a look at daily. I think it's a clear downtrend too, right? Ichimoku clouds also show a clear downtrend, right? You can see that prices is going to go below the clouds possibly, right? And then you can see I'll say that, Richard, you can long it, but I think you shouldn't hold the trade for too long because this downtrend is also quite crazy. Weekly also on a downtrend, monthly also on a downtrend, right? You can see that this is probably just a retracement, right? My TP is at, I think, let me check, for 0.74. I think it's okay, but I think maybe this TP, is it somewhere here, right? If it's somewhere here, I think it's okay, it's fine. Right, most probably will hit it. I hope this trade goes well, right? Because I think that this is really a very good long position. right. That's good. That's good. Let's go next one. So do you guys know how to see the Ichimoku cloud already? Right. Something like the river right here, right? The red over blue line is clearly a downtrend, right? But it's reaching our overlap support, right? You can see there's a big reaction whenever it touch this line, right? So what happens is that it's both probably going to do a short bounce then before it drop down again. Okay. So this is how you use Ichimoku cloud. Below the cloud, red over blue means that it's bearish. Above the cloud, blue over red means that it's bullish. Right? If it's in the cloud and the cloud is thick, most probably you won't break support. If the cloud is thin, most probably you will break support. If the red cloud is thin, means that the resistance is very weak. If the red cloud is thick, means that resistance is very thick. Okay, so let's go next. Richard, is it okay with you? I think it's a very good level. Right? I think that your trade worked very well. Right? It's just whether your stop loss, just in case there's any big news affecting the market. From technical analysis standpoint, it's definitely going up. It's going up for a short one. Okay. So, oil. Let's go oil. Where is this? Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Louis swing trader, right? If I remember correctly. Are you here? Yeah. Okay, let's go. Swing trader. So that time I remember I told you about the short reversal into a upward trend. Did it work out well? I think it did. I hope it did, guys. Did it work out well? Looking at scalper. Scalper strategies are very, very, very what do I call that? Very, very, you must be so accurate to the point that that at any point in a minute, once in reverse, right, your stop loss must trigger. Right. So let's just say if you say that, hey, I'm going to go short here, I think it's going next candlestick is going to be red, right? You can scalp here, right? Get out. Right. It's such a good strategy for profit. But once let's just say an example is probably red here. Really expect a red candle, but it's green, right? You will lose like quite a lot of money too. Right? So you have to be very, very accurate, in terms of scalping strategies. Okay. But let's go for this 4-hour chart, right? A swing high right here, right? It's very near our high already. Probably going to touch here, right? Yeah, I think it's most probably going to touch our resistance area. Right, and this is probably, I think that it's ranging though. It's no longer on a clear trend anymore. It's really no longer a clear trend anymore. Right, I'm pretty sure that time was a very, very clear uptrend. Okay, let's just put our first support area and put our first resistance. Okay. All right, let me see if there are any big trend lines to draw, right, just in case. I remember we talked about oil that time, Luis. Did it work out? I'm very curious because I cannot remember anymore. Wow, it's dipping. Okay, so you can see there's a clear ascending trend line. What happens is that it broke, right? So why do I say that this is quite a valid ascending trend line? The reason is quite simple, right? You can see that it touched here, it's very close here, touch here, right? Then it broke from here, right? Fill is broke. Fill is broke. Yeah, long then short again. All right, that's good. I still think this is a long, right? One big trend line to show that that is on the ascending trend line. It broken up as an ascending trend line. Then you can see that one short descending trend line, right, to show that it's actually reaching, right? I think it's a long. Okay, let's check for Fibonacci's level. Okay, I think it reached our 30.2 retracement. Yeah, I think so. 23.6 retracement. Okay, so it broke, but it didn't go to our 30.2. Okay, so next one you have to see. Oil is really very hard now. In my opinion, oil is really very hard. Okay, the reason why I say it's hard is because there's news like every single month. Not every single month. I think like energy crunch news in China, right? OPEC news, right? Every single week, right? We have some news to actually hurt the hurt our trends, right? That time was uptrend, right? Then there's a short reversal because I say price cannot go up forever. There must be some form of coming down soon. Yeah, I think that this can be a long position, right? But obviously, it's very safe, right? Maybe a graphical overlap support right here, right, to stop your loss. Maybe a long position to here, right, to find whether your trend line hits or not. Okay, let's use any Ichimoku cloud indicator. I think this is a ranging market, so I don't think it's quite accurate for this. Ichimoku cloud is better. Yes, I agree. Okay, I will say that commodities very good to play with news. Yesterday, gold CPI data, right, above expectations for inflation, 0.9 above 0.6 Wall Street expectations, if I remember correctly the number. Okay, what happened was that gold did a spring, then it shot up. So this is my, if let's just say my chart plays out okay, I think that gold is going up. But it's just very risky because any news affects it. So just to be safe, your stop loss have to be tight. Okay. One by one, let's go now. Okay, let's go Aussie Kiwi also. Sorry, wrong. One look at it, right? Ichimoku cloud is so good at actually identify trends in the market. Yeah, gold was crazy. Do you long it after you see the CPI data? Like, did any one of you guys caught the long on gold, right? Once you see your CPI data, your inflation data out, right? I'm very curious actually. I think that missing out is okay, right? As long as you don't go on a short position, right? What? Okay, I'll show you why the reason why there are quite a few people short too. Okay, so there's this very big trend line on the daily chart right here, right? You see this trend line right here? Okay, you need 3 points touch as I said earlier. So what we're going to do is we're going to probably do like something like that. Okay. Okay, so I understand that a lot of people shorted at about 1834, if I remember correctly, this level. Yeah, 1834. Why? Because I already said, okay, what you have to look out for if there's no big news affecting the market is that you have to look out for those very big time frame trend lines. For example, daily, right? Daily trend lines are very strong. Okay, let me see this. Okay, daily trend lines are very strong as long as there's no big news, that can push it up. Okay, then weekly trend lines are even stronger. Okay, so it goes down, right? The greater the time frame, right? The larger the time frame, the stronger the trend is. Okay, so I know that a lot of people actually put a short here because they don't believe, right, this is a very strong trend, right, daily chart. So they don't believe that it's actually going, to hit and going to hit and probably going to do a reversal, right? So I know that there's a lot of people who went short here for people who use purely technical analysis to trade, right? I won't say that it's wrong. Rather, I'll say that, if in normal cases, right, this is actually very accurate. It's a very strong trend line. Okay, touch here, right, touch here, touch here. Okay, so it broke out. So what happens is that the day before when it reached 1834, right, many people placed a short position here, hoping that it goes down, and it really went down, if I remember correctly. Right, it really did went down. I cannot remember if it's 1828 or 1834, but somewhere around there. My trend line already quite wonky. The reason is because, I think it's somewhere like that. I cannot remember how the trend line works. But I know that a lot of people short, then it went down. And then they thought that it's safe, right? Then it suddenly shot up from CPI data yesterday. Yeah. Yeah, I thought, because we always say that bank actually receive, the news first. So I actually thought that when it went down, right, is that expectations of inflation, right, was below expectations. So I thought that it went down. So I thought it was like, wow, maybe, inflation is not as bad as it seems in USA. But then, I mean, the news says otherwise. Okay, so let's go for gold, right? Let's do a very quick chart, right? Go over trade day to day, or maybe some of you guys are swing traders. The next high is 1911, right? Check for it. It broke our 1832 resistance, right? So maybe you want to check for any overlaps, right? Broke our 1863. It's insane. I see the chart. Okay, so you can see a 1872 resistance also, right? At this area. So now it's our graphical overlap area too. Okay. So why am I drawing so many resistance? Okay, the reason is very simple. Okay, because I'm very afraid that gold have another large movements. Many news affect gold. Okay, many news. Any form of inflation news now affect gold. Okay, so what I'm afraid is that once it breaks, you have to look at the next level. Once it breaks, you have to look at the next level. The next big level. So what does the next big level means? It means that normally we see resistance is like at the top. When there's a reaction off price, like maybe you see there's a reaction off price, then we at this area. Right, but the reaction is not that huge after all. You can see that this reaction is not that huge, right? This reaction is huge, okay? I can say that this is a very strong resistance, okay? Some people may have a misinterpretation is that, okay, let's just say maybe this is also a very strong resistance, right? This area right here, right? Let me show it to you, right? This is not, okay? This is not a very strong resistance. This is a very strong resistance. It touched here and here have such a big reaction. Okay, so you have to always keep looking at these multiple overlap points, right, to actually identify a strong resistance. All right. So I hope that this is pretty good for you guys. Okay, so what I'm looking for is actually a break, right? I don't think it will break this level today. Okay, you can say that this is a previous high level, right? So do I think whether it will break? No, I don't think so. I don't think it will break today because I don't think there's any big news actually affecting gold market today. Okay, so what I'm expecting is that it will touch, right? Probably do a retracement down, but at 30.2%. I don't know whether it really did. Okay, I expect to be here. Okay, I expect price to drop temporarily. For short term, just do a very short term 38.2 retracement level. Okay, or maybe a 23.6, right? I don't expect price to keep going up. Maybe I might be wrong, right? Because gold is quite wonky nowadays. Okay, so guys who are looking for a short position, what you have to do, maybe you can consider a 1854, right? A sell entry price, right? Then you can consider, right, a stop loss at probably our next resistance, right? Which maybe I think that is too far. Maybe you can consider it here, very small stop loss, right? I always say that your risk reward ratio was very tight, very nice, right? So that even if you lose, right, the next one you win, you're gonna cover it back. Simple as that, right? Then maybe you're gonna do take profit level at this area at 1831. Okay, for swing traders for gold looking for short position, I'll say this is a very good level. Okay, let me show you guys again because I think this one was quite messy. Right, this one is your take profit level, and this is your stop loss level. Okay, or you can put maybe your sell entry price here, next high, the high here. Okay, so you can expect a drop from here. Okay, so this is my take for gold, right? Looking for a short position. So Luis, are you looking for a short or long for gold? You guys have any other charts? Like I'm here to actually find very good setups for you guys. I think short better now. I agree. I actually very agree. So this is a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. You can try this, right? I think it's fine. Okay, from the looks of it. Check Ichimoku. Confirm very bullish, I think. Yeah, it's just very bullish right now. We are going against the trend, but we're looking for a retracement. Any other people have any other questions or any charts? Right. Let me show you guys divergence. I don't know if you guys know. Okay. I do 4 hours chart. All right, let's go. Let me show you a bit of divergence right here. I use stochastics. I use 2153. I expect GBP USD to actually go up. Okay. After the crazy drop yesterday, I expect it to go up. Okay, so you can see that on our stochastic chart is that it's forming higher lows. Higher lows. But then on our chart itself, it's forming lower lows. Right. So I expect price. This is a very bullish signal. Okay. So you guys can keep a lookout for this. This can be one of your confluences, right, to actually enter a trade. right? And I think that this is pretty accurate. You just so what happens is that you just have to see the difference in RSI. So maybe sometimes, you know, sometimes they produce, just example, because I cannot find it here right now. This is what I saw in the morning. So I'm just here to tell you guys, maybe you can consider maybe just a bullish trade, right? Okay, but then you have to put your stop loss quite tight too, right? So this is your sell entry, buy entry, I mean. Then probably you just want a very, very short one, maybe just below, right? Then you can say this is your sell entry. Maybe you want to find, is there any graphical overlap resistance, support area, right? Can we find it here? Okay, I show that this is a bullish divergence. Right, so this is a resistance area, and you can expect it to go up. Okay, just a very, very good pound dollar RSI divergence. Okay, the possibility is quite high. Right, what you have to look for is probably check for a reversal candlestick. Is there any reversal candlestick right here? Right, this can be a spinning bottom. Right, if this is green. Okay. So this is also a sign of reversal. Let me check again. Sorry, to zoom out this now. Okay, it's not very nice. Not a very, very good reversal candlestick. Probably you want to take a look at this candlestick. Okay. So I want to end this, right? We have 5 more minutes. I want to end this, you know, we have gone through quite a lot of you know, syllabus, right? We go through from Elliott wave to avramis river. But I'm sorry that I do not have, you know, I have some technical issues regarding my MT5. So what happens is that, let's just say if the next webinar you guys are here, right, you guys are very interested to see, but I'll be sure to actually pre-install it to show you guys. Okay, because of the zip file and stuff like that. So I can show you how it works, right? If you actually want to see it next week, right? So I'll see you guys next week. But then I always want to stress that, you know, maybe some of you guys were not, this is the end of, I think this is the last webinar for this session, right? The next one is probably a restart if I remember correctly. But what I want to tell you guys is, you know, a trading strategy is a must, right? Some of you guys found one, some of you guys have not, right? Just keep trying, right? And then let's just say, is it payable? I'll get back to you on this, okay? This avramis in the river, is it payable? I'll get back to you on this, right? And I'll show it to you next week, Luis. Right, you're always here, so I'm pretty sure you'll be here next week. So I hope that you'll be here next week, actually. So what happens is that I'll show it to you next week, okay? Then you see whether you want. If you want it, then you can just tell me, right? Then I'll have you ask, okay? For those who want, you can just tell me, then I'll have you ask. Yeah, I think I remember it too, actually. But I'll have you check with XM again, right? I have to check with my superiors. Then I'll get back to you. Is it the grand webinar? Right. I think XM is having a grand webinar if I'm not wrong. No problem. No problem at all. All right. So, okay, 3 more minutes. Okay. So I always say that those who are actually, you know, are ready to actually go and trade for real, then you guys please always use 3 confluences, right? For those who are actually more risk tolerant, right? You guys can use 2 confluences. I still think it's okay. But 2 or 3 is the must, right? Don't always use 1 indicator alone, right? Use reversal candlestick, use everything that was taught, right? To actually identify, right? Find 3 confluences that you're very familiar, very comfortable with, right? Then you keep testing it, understand it, then you go for a trade. Okay, guys? So with this, I'd like to come to the end of my webinar, right? So stay safe and trade safe, right? I want to show you guys XM promotion first before I end. All right, so for XMR, we're having a grand promo. As long as you trade a certain amount of lots, what happens is that you have a chance in a lucky draw. I think it's coming to an end soon by 15 November. So be sure to actually join, right, or to be eligible for it if you guys trade more, right? And there's a referral bonus for everybody who actually refer a friend. Okay. So with this, I come to the end of my webinar. I hope to catch you guys in the next one and next Tuesday, right? It will be, I think I can't remember, but it will be a start. But for those who actually came late, right? That's the start you guys need, right? I'll be sure to go on every single basic stuff, right? You guys will be able to trade at the end of all this stuff. All right, so hope to you guys catch you in the next one. See you guys.